Very good afternoon to you viewers out there. This is another episode of An Outstanding Women coming to you live from Impact Africa Television, IATV, in Ibadan City, the Oyo State capital, where we discuss issues affecting women and how they can overcome it. In case you're joining the program for the first time, you're welcome. And this is An Outstanding Women on the hair right now. Sit, relax, and learn. My name is Eyitayo Kofoworola. I'm your host on the program this afternoon. I will be discussing developing a confident self in becoming an outstanding woman. That's a very interesting program to look at, actually, because I think every woman out there needs to develop their own confidence, irrespective of people around them. So this is a very peculiar topic to look at, and I have with me, I'm not alone here in the guest, as usual, I always have a guest around me. So I have with me a guest, Dr. Bolanle Oyerinde. I'll read a brief of her profile so you know where she's coming from and how she was able to develop her own confidence to achieving what she has achieved so far. So she is a CEO and a founder of Oyerinde Preparatory School in Akobo, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. She is an educator on high repute who is passionate about raising future world changers through a commitment to pursuing a more sensible approach to the teaching and learning process. It is a desire and intention that each student under our watch will learn. She's a trained medical technologist with over 23 years experience, wow, of diversified and progressive technical experience in laboratories in the United States. She has taught in elementary, secondary, and tertiary institutions in the United States as well in Nigeria for over 22 years. She holds a doctoral degree in education as well as a Master's of Science in Education from Walden University, Minnesota, USA. She holds a Bachelor of Science with honors in microbiology from University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. I'm laughing, right, because it's a whole lot for me. Like the way I'm reading it, I'm wowed already. She's a trained international speaker, certified transformational life coach, CEO and founder of Dr. B Coaching Service, a sought after host of Candid Talk with Dr. B, host of Eden Treasures, a parent motivational seminar series, family and marriage counselor and mentor. She has published 2 books. She is a dutiful and supportive wife, married to a best friend and the husband of a youth for 34 years. Ha! My viewers, you can see that's a whole lot. I brought in your way a package you were not expecting, and I'm sure we'll pick 1 or 2 things from my experience. You can see her face. Please let me show her face. She's still looking very much like a 20 years old with all of this achievement. So meet my guest, Dr. Mrs. Bolanle Oyerinde. You're welcome on the program this afternoon.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here.
Seriously, I'm glad you can make it. You're welcome. So to start with, I only have this first question is coming through my mind, that what is your drive to achieve this so much achievement in life?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Eyitayo. It's been a wonderful experience after I even got to the studio.
Okay, you're welcome.
To be honest with you, I didn't have a grand plan.
Wow.
I really did not.
Wow.
You meet some people, little girls, they will tell you who they want to become. I didn't have that. I honestly just wanted to be happily married, have a well-ordered home. And as I grew older, I thought of having a doctoral degree, and I didn't even know in what. Wow. So honestly, for me, it has evolved. It has evolved. And I asked myself, what would I really want to do? And by God's grace, it will lead me, and I'll just get going. So I didn't have a grand plan, to be honest.
Really? So what now happens along the way?
Well, like I said, I finished a career. I had a 26-year career in the lab.
Okay.
And I realized that I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I knew I had to make a change. Okay. And that's why I went.
Were you enjoying it before?
Yes, I did.
So after a while?
After a while, I got tired of it. I realized it's not what I want to do. And then I discovered my passion for teaching and education. Okay. And that's why I went back to school for that.
Wow, you went to retrain yourself on
Absolutely.
that path. Wow.
After 26 years in one field.
26.
Yes.
You now went back, you rediscovered, because if it's actually your passion in the first place, you won't get tired. So that what happens at that stage.
Well, my dad is a retired school principal. And it's surprising that my parents did not even see the passion in teaching, and I was teaching all along since 8 years old. Even in church,
Really?
I would even gather neighborhood children and teach them, but nobody really saw that. So I discovered that myself after I got married, had children, and I realized that I didn't want to be in the lab anymore.
Wow, that you just want to focus on the teaching passion.
Exactly.
Wow,
And I pursued that.
Wow. That means it takes a lot for you to discover that your passion lies in teaching.
Exactly.
Can you share what it took you for you to discover that?
As a matter of fact, in the lab, I will be teaching other like lab assistants who were in school how to teach their kids at home. Somebody might tell me my third grader is not good in math. I'll say there's nothing like that. There's nothing to third grade math, and I would teach her to teach her child at home. And they would make fun of me, Bola, you need to be in the classroom. You don't even need to be here. And I actually prayed for a period of 6 months. And the Lord showed me that teaching is my passion. And then I pursued it.
And you can actually see it from the result you're getting from the parents of the students that you thought to go and teach their children.
Oh,
at least they come back with testimonies
absolutely.
of
Absolutely.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's
you.
wonderful. And another thing is in that path, do you ever experience like a standstill that you felt like, okay, I don't even want to, I want to step down from this profession I'm taking?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
that's why I eventually left.
Okay.
Actually, my story is that it got to a point that I was literally crying as I was driving to work, that I needed to get out of here. And that's what happened. That was the state where I was before I actually left the lab. Even though that was what I wanted to do at the beginning, and I did it for a few years, but by the 20th year, 21st, 22nd, up to the 26th year, it was as if I was dying inside. And I just needed to leave the lab.
But what gave you that confidence to actually leave your well-paid job and leave for teaching?
Well, God's grace.
Okay.
Actually, my husband said, you're going to leave the lab for teaching? Do you know teachers are not well paid anywhere in the world? We were living in the United States. And even then, it's not like teachers were well paid. But I just told myself, I just couldn't continue to live like this. I was so dissatisfied with. There's nothing wrong with lab science. I enjoyed it for the first couple of decades, 2 decades. But after that, I just said I needed to do something that, I felt alive doing. And I just followed my dreams. And yes, I made less as a teacher, but I was so fulfilled. And also, I love my students, and just being in the classroom was like the most amazing thing.
Wow. That means you already convinced yourself that whatever comes, I'm not going to be discouraged with this teaching passion that I'm about to follow. That even when your husband was trying to convince you that while leaving laboratory for teaching, you already convinced yourself at that.
And even after I got to the classroom, I taught at the university level. I always have a question mark in my office. When I felt discouraged, when I felt frustrated, maybe with policy issues, administrative issues, I'll just look at the question mark. To remind me what's the point. I'm here because of these kids, and I'm here because this is my passion. Exactly.
Wow, that's very interesting. I love that, because it took after 26 years, it took a lot to actually deviate from that. And because some people will be like, after 26 years, what do I stand to get? Let me just continue and feel my passion. But it's actually wonderful the way you deviate. Okay, another thing is I want to ask is that have you ever experienced gender inequality in a way while working at your laboratories or while working in anywhere else, and how did you handle it as a woman?
Yes, I actually did. And living in the United States, not only did I encounter gender inequality, I also experienced racial inequality and racial injustice. And in the lab, it's usually males that are lab directors.
Really?
And I was at the senior level that I should have been I should have become, yes, exactly, promoted to lab director, but they always pass me by.
Because you're a woman.
A woman, and also of African
Black.
descent, black, exactly.
Okay.
But my number one identity is that I'm the daughter of the Most High God. You can't rubbish me.
Of course.
That's my mindset. So as a result, I will just operate in excellence, and my competence will show, excellence will show. Even the lab director will not take
Be
any
able
major
to
decisions
bypass.
without coming to ask me. So that was how I was able to deal with it, because it was a systemic problem. I didn't take it personally.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But when you get down to Nigeria, did you experience such?
Well, no, not at all.
Okay.
Because at the university level, you just go to a class where you need to teach, and then eventually I started my own nursery and primary school right here in Akobo.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So I will ask, what's your secret to success as a woman?
Wow. Well, we have to, success is different for each person. For some people, success is amassing a lot of wealth, and there's nothing wrong with that. For some people, it's actually being famous. But I read a book by John Maxwell
Okay.
a few years ago that really helped me to define what success is. Success is the progressive realization of predetermined worthwhile goals. So if you're a stay-at-home mom and your goals are to order your household in such a way that you do your school run smoothly, you help your kids with the homework smoothly, and you are achieving that, you are being successful. And if your goal is to have your own business as a woman, and you have your goals, you have your steps, and you are accomplishing that, you are also being successful. So success is not a destination in itself, it's a process. So that being said, I think the secret will be knowing what you really want and going for it, and not quitting along the way, even when it gets
when
tough.
you feel like
Exactly. There will be so many things along the way that will make you feel like quitting, but don't quit. If you don't quit, you will eventually become successful. Yeah.
So what has been your support system all the way that is stopping you, holding you back from quitting, refueling your passion every time you want to quit?
Okay. Well, by God's grace, I'm not really a quitter.
Okay.
So I don't really see things that way.
Okay.
But I don't want to be, I know it's not a Christian program, but I would not be authentic if I don't bring in the fact that I'm a Christian, I'm a child of the Most High God. He has been my sustainer, he's been my everything all along. And then I'm blessed. I have wonderful parents who have supported me, and my siblings. I'm very close to my siblings. They're all supportive.
Okay.
My husband is so supportive. He pushes me, he's always nudging me. And then my adult children are very, very, supportive. And then I have people in my life, people that I work with even now, my social media manager, my administrator, different people in my environment. I've just been really blessed to be supported with people
The people around
who
you.
are very supportive.
Wow.
And I'm aware of the fact that not all women are that blessed. In fact, when I was working at the university system, there's something they call people that have HND, they do a conversion to bachelors.
Okay.
It shocked me as many women would come to me to tell me they are working in that same university system and they want to convert from the HND to the bachelors, and their husbands will say no.
Wow.
The money is minimal and is taken directly from their account, but the husband will say no. And I was shocked that this woman bettering herself, empowering herself, can only help this
denying
family,
them.
but the husbands will be denying them. So we can't even take that for granted. Yeah.
So let's say the grace of God has
Exactly.
brought that upon you.
Yes. I thank God. And
In
the
case
whole
you-
community of support that I have,
Wow.
I don't take it for granted.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's
Yes.
wonderful. If you have any comment or any contributions at all at home that you wish to pass across, please you dial the number on your screen and we'll be hearing you live and direct from the studio here. Thank you. Okay, the grace of God.
Yeah.
I understand that you're married.
Yes.
You have children and you were working as at that time. How
Yes.
were you able to manage those time with kids, with home, without creating any chaos in
Yes.
both sides, with your
Yes.
career and also your home?
Yes. As a woman, you need to understand the season that you are in. Know this season you are in, run your race in your own lane. When my kids were younger, we focused on the school runs. I actually homeschooled my kids, for many, many years.
Really?
But now that I'm in a different season, they're adults and they're doing their own things. So if a woman is at the season of school runs and you want to live like me now that I don't have anything, then there will be chaos at home, because your children will be lacking in a mother that needs to pay attention to them, help them with homework. But if you are focusing on others, that Eyitayo is doing this and I also need to do that, but that's not the season that you're in. So I think it's very, very important to know exactly the season you're in and what you need to focus on in that season, because a woman can have it all but not at the same time. You cannot have it all at the same time. So we need to know that and just manage the season that you're in.
Okay, I appreciate that that what you said just now, but looking at it in this dimension, there are women out there that they are not actually, they understand the season they are in, but due to circumstances around them, maybe they were separated, they were divorced, and they cannot fully express that season as they ought to. What do you have to say to them?
Well, I'll encourage them that this, no season lasts forever. If right now, due to divorce or the loss of a spouse, there are things you won't be able to do. But there's nothing wrong from them seeking support from maybe grandparents of their children, or find a community of people that have gone through what you're going through and they can help you in that season. And you need to know that there's also life after divorce. You can thrive after divorce. The sun will shine again.
Of course.
Things can get better. But what I would like to say about that is that you need to know your part in the breakdown of the previous relationship, and you need to own it. Otherwise you're going to carry that baggage from
into
that previous relationship into the next one, and it's just going to be disaster waiting to happen. There are three sides to a story. His side, her side, and the truth in the middle somewhere. You just have to get to the point where you know your own part in it and own it. And we really win or learn. We don't have to lose. You either win or learn from the situation that happened before.
Okay. Wow, that's wonderful. Oh, so that's a very lovely advice for the women out there in that situation. Then I would love to ask that at your journey from the beginning till the present now, were you able to make some sacrifices, and was it convenient to make those sacrifices, and how have those sacrifices been helpful to your path in life?
Wow, I've made sacrifices all the way through. I told you I homeschooled my children, for example. I was never a stay-home mom. I always worked. So I worked full time at night, and I came home in the morning to sleep, and then I taught my children in the afternoon. So that's a major sacrifice. And there was a time also at the beginning of the journey, my husband was self-employed, and I even helped him in the business. And I still worked even at that time. So there are sacrifices all the way through. But what I want to tell the women is that in the process of making all these sacrifices, don't lose yourself. Because there have been a lot of women who have bent over backwards to support their partners, to support their kids, and then they die untimely. And the sad fact is that the husbands will move on, and the kids also will move on.
Exactly.
So you need to learn self-care in the middle of the
way
of the sacrificing, on behalf of everybody.
Wow. But how can a woman quickly snap herself out of that, to not look down on herself in order to take care of herself? Okay,
it's very, very important to have a support group. It doesn't have to be an actual formal support group, but you need to identify 2 to 3 people that can be accountability partners for you, that will call you once a week, that you see about you, how are you doing, have you rested, are you resting, you need to sleep, you need to do this. We're not supposed to live this isolated life. So, and I think also that we're not supposed to carry our burdens alone. It may not be relatives by blood, It may be relatives, and maybe friends on the job, or it may be neighbors. You could be supported by anybody. You just need to find that support system. Extremely important.
That will easily figure out, okay, you're not doing this right. You need to go this way.
That something is amiss. Something is wrong. You're losing weight. You're not looking radiant. The glow is gone. The shine is gone. There will be something those people can tell you, and they will be accountable to, okay, what's going on? We want to know. And then they will bring you back on that journey.
And those ones that will not mock you.
Exactly. Oh, those are true friends. Absolutely. Those are true friends. But you know, honestly, to be honest, it's still better to have the issue out there than for me to be finding out when the person commits suicide or something. Because at that point, we'll still hear about everything.
Of course.
So, but nonetheless, you'll still be able to find people that can support you without being judgmental, without being critical, without telling you all the things you've done wrong. They're just there to be supportive. There are people like that.
Wow, yes. That's nice. I hope women out there will take this advice and work on it, because then in this our Nigeria, you know, I don't know if it's playing outside the country as well, but I noticed that women doesn't support women as such. So women find it difficult to open up to other women of what they are going through. What do you have to say to this?
Again, we're in different seasons. And, you know, we're talking about self-confidence as well. You know, self-confidence in believing in yourself, in your own abilities, in your qualities, and in your judgment. So if you have self-confidence, you're able to make decisions. So lack of self-confidence will keep you in relationships
that are not
healthy, that are toxic, that are draining your energy. So when you are surrounded with such people, it's not going to be helpful. So self-confidence will help you to leave those kind of relationships. I think in my younger years, I had such relationships. But as I was growing, what's the point? I'm the only one giving into this relationship. This relationship is actually draining me. So I know to leave. I'm not angry with you, but I need to get out of this relationship. So women, we have to get to that point that it's better you are by yourself than with a bunch of people that are going to drain your energy and drag you down.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But you still keep looking. Don't quit. Don't think that every woman is like that. When you are dealing with people with low self-esteem, you're going to encounter that. But when you are dealing with women who have also experienced different seasons in life, they know to be supportive. Because you may be going through this now, but who knows who's going to be going through that next. So you can't just judge that, okay, this person has done something wrong, that's why she's going through what she's going through.
Wow, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, speaking of self-confidence, how can a woman develop a self-confidence or be confident in herself that I can do this and it will be get done?
Okay, it's extremely important the conversations you have with yourself in your head. You know, a lot of us, oh, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have enough money, I don't have this. You have to catch your thoughts. And whatever those negative things are that you are telling yourself, you need to change them. Those are limiting beliefs. You need to change them to affirmations. So instead of saying, I'm too young, I'm too old, you can say, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me as a Christian. That comes to my head. But you can say, I'm open to receiving more in my life. Or I'm worthy of everything that is happening to me in my life. You know, you just have to have affirmations, words to help yourself. And also know what you want. Know what you want and pursue it. Don't worry about the how. Know what you want. You know, that's one of the most difficult things for us as humans.
Seriously.
But if you can calm down, sit down, know exactly what you want. Don't worry about the how. The Almighty God knows how to bring it about. But just know what you want and pursue that.
Follow it.
And follow it. You know, follow your passion, follow your heart. You only live once. You only have this one life to live. Of course,
just one.
Yes.
Just one. Yes. Thank you very much. Because of our time, we will not be able to go further. But I know you're loaded. But time is not just permitting me to go further. But I will ask for your advice. What have you been wanting to tell women so badly?
Oh, two things.
Okay.
That I would have told my younger self. Self-care. I didn't understand that until in the last 10-15 years.
Wow.
Self-care is not selfishness. Self-care is not self-centeredness. Self-care is self-preservation. Even on the airplane, they will tell you if you need to use the oxygen mask, you need to put it on yourself first before you put on your child. And the second thing is, what would you really love? What would you really love in your family life, in your career, and go do it. Go pursue it.
Wow.
Like I said, YOLO. You only live once.
Only live once. Thank you so very much for coming on the program this afternoon. I hope my viewers out there have picked one or two points to start with their life or add to their life in whatever way they are going through. And this is where we'll wrap it up on the program this afternoon. I really appreciate you watching us, and I appreciate my guest for coming. So until next time that we'll meet on the same time, same channel on this program, Outstanding Women, I remain your host, Eyita Yokufuora. Keep thriving and don't give up.